Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A mother accused in the death of her own child, and she is not the only one.
The mother's boyfriend also a suspect in this case. The couple was indicted late last week in the death of 5-year-old Mercedes Lozoya.
Erica Hernandez with the charges they face and what comes next in this case.
The indictment released by the Bexar County District Attorney's Office last week details the horrible abuse 5-year-old Mercedes Lozoya went through. Lozoya was unresponsive when her mother, Katrina Mendoza, took her to a hospital in early February, where she would later die. Mendoza and her boyfriend, Jose Ruiz, were arrested. Between the two, they faced 13 counts of intentionally or knowingly causing serious bodily injury to a child. Each charge listed out and detailed the abuse. Mercedes was apparently beaten, had tacks put on her feet, and gagged with the sock.
Listing exactly what happened to Mercedes, you're kind of forcing the public and everybody involved to recognize what happened to her. And that is a good thing. And that's how you get justice.
Jasmine is the founder of KJ's Angels, which was created after the death of baby King J. Davila in 2019. Currently, the nonprofit is helping Mercedes' family and her surviving sister.
So her sister's alive and well and thriving. And what we can do, we can't bring Mercedes back at this point. But what we can do is we can help her sister.
As the nonprofit continues to work with victims of child abuse and their families, they hope the public takes notice and reports any signs of abuse in the community.
These cases need to be taken seriously. We need to report when we suspect, which is what Mercedes families did. But we also need to hold people accountable for not taking these cases serious.
The case will now go through the 187th District Court. It could be a while, though, before it actually goes to trial. But once it does, if Mendoza and Ruiz are found guilty, they are facing anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
A man recovering tonight after being stabbed during a fight. It happened just after 12:30 this morning in the 1600 block of Santa Monica. That's on the northwest side. The victim told police he was stabbed during a fight with another man in the 1500 block of Hildebrand, left that area to get help. He was taken to University Hospital where he's expected to be okay. So far, no arrests have been made. This incident is still under investigation tonight.
A man behind bars this evening after an hours-long standoff on the south side. The standoff began around 6 o'clock Sunday evening, finally ended around midnight. San Antonio police say the suspect had threatened a 51-year-old man with a gun, went inside the home. The man eventually gave himself up. His name has not been released. It's also unclear what charges that man might be facing. In the next 30 minutes, the Lavernia ISD School Board will meet to decide whether to adopt a guardian program. It would allow certain staff members to be armed. Administrators began talking about this in January, and they have since collected public and staff opinions through surveys. The district says 88% of community members surveyed were in favor of arming staff. 80% of staff members surveyed supported too.
They do have to have their license to carry already. So this isn't just your first-time shooters. We want some accountability. We want people to have some experience in dealing with weapons.
Now, if this Guardian program is adopted, administrators will begin interviewing staff members who will then go through training and psychological assessments.
New at 6, voters in Medina Valley ISD send a message to the district by rejecting 2 school bonds worth nearly $400 million to build new schools and a stadium. RJ
Marquez spoke to voters in the district and tells us what's next for Medina Valley ISD as it's dealing with some unprecedented growth.
When they build all of these subdivisions.
Kathy and Jennifer Marty are sisters-in-law and have lived in Castroville for their entire lives. They have seen firsthand the rapid growth in the area.
Growing up in Castroville was a lot different than it is today.
We've seen a lot of traffic come through, which our town can't really handle right now.
Along with the traffic, more homes are being built in the small community, and that's led to an influx in students in district schools. This year alone, the district added almost 800 students.
My children both graduated from Medina Valley, and their classes were 300 plus.
And despite that growth, voters soundly rejected 2 proposed bonds, one for a new high school, middle school, and elementary school. The bond, if passed, would have added an average of nearly $57 a year to property taxes.
The people have made a statement with not voting for it. I think something is definitely needed.
The district is going back to the drawing board before going back to voters with another proposal. Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Rohrbach told us in a statement that additional schools will be needed in the future with the unprecedented growth in the district. He added that current district enrollment is slightly over 7,000 students. In 10 years, the district enrollment is forecast to be close to 17,000 students.
I don't think the issue is that we need it. Maybe how it's spent and how much is spent is the problem.
And while the area continues a population boom, the district will have to wait, leading to more questions than answers for people who live in Castroville and students.
My fear is for the kids. Are there going to be classrooms available for all the growth that's coming in?
RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Another week, another jump at the pump. We're flirting with record high gas prices once again. We found gas going for as high as $4.19 a gallon at some stations around town. The average locally, though, $3.94 a gallon. That's up 21 cents in just the past week. Globally, supplies are tight because of various sanctions on Russian oil, and this all comes as spring demand is surging. For drivers, it's a pain in the wallet, costing some drivers $80 to $90 to fill up their trucks.
I got to get around. I got to get to my appointments. My kids got to get to school. Family's got to get to work. So got to bite the bullet and just hope that one day gas gets low.
And don't expect that to be anytime soon. Experts we talked to say prices will likely remain high and perhaps bust records set in March. Diesel prices already in record territory, $5.29 a gallon locally.
Now to another strain on families, a baby formula shortage affecting 6 states, including Texas. Some parents are finding some new ways to try to get formula. Last month, around 40% of the nation's baby formula was out of stock. Some parents getting their baby formula from Europe now. Others are going to sites like eBay to see if there's any formula in stock there, or turning to social media, Instagram, to see if parents are sharing. One doctor says parents should make sure the formula is FDA approved before buying anything online.
If people out there are turning to the internet, auction sites, or social media to get formula, you have to make sure that you're using an FDA approved formula. FDA approved to make sure that it is safe and it has the exact nutrient composition that young babies need.
Abbott says they are doing everything they can to address the formula shortage, including prioritizing production. The company says there is no timetable when the supply will return to normal.
Traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs, they're injuries to the head from a sudden blow. As many as 50,000 people die every year from severe TBIs. Another 80,000 permanently disabled. And that's not all. Ursula Perry with new evidence that people who sustain even a moderate head injury later in life run an increased risk of developing epilepsy.
Whether it's sports, a vehicle accident, or a sudden fall, head injuries are linked to death, disability, and dementia as people age. Now there's a new study, though, that suggests traumatic brain injuries, or TBIs, increase the risk of seizures and epilepsy for older people.
One head injury is associated with about a 1.2 times increased risk, but having more than one head injury is associated with over 2 times increased risk.
Dr. Schneider and her colleagues studied 9,000 patients who suffered head injuries. Most were between the ages of 45 and 65 when the study began. The researchers examined the patients' health records for 30 years, and they found the severity of the injury also made a difference.
We found that those with moderate or severe injuries had a higher risk of later seizures compared to the mild head injury group.
In fact, those with moderate or severe head injuries had a 5 times increased risk of developing epilepsy. One more reason to protect the head and prevent a potentially disabling condition later on.
The researchers say falls are the #1 reason for head injury among seniors, and it really highlights the need for fall prevention education among seniors. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with live cam. A hot one again out there today.
Yeah, is that steam rising from downtown? Is that what we're seeing?
Oh, it very well could be, right?
Yeah,
if we had enough moisture in the ground, maybe it would be, right? But we could use the rain, of course. We could use some cooler temperatures. We made it just above 100 this weekend. So 2 triple-digit days, Saturday and Sunday, and that's the earliest on record we've ever had 2 consecutive triple-digit days. 97 today. That's important because it ties the record high temperature that has been in place since 1967. You look at other high temperatures today, 100 Cotulla, 102 Carrizo Springs, even Laredo, 102 for the high. Hondo about 98, and Pleasanton made it to 99 degrees. For the most part, we're in the 90s right now. We're still very close to that high temperature for the day, but temperatures will gradually be falling off this evening. I mean, we're talking warm and humid, a bit gusty, and temperatures for the most part just sticking in the 80s this evening. We're going to talk more about what you can expect the rest of the week and even who could get some rain coming right up.
Thanks, Adam. Hope you have air conditioning in your car. By the way, this is I-35 upper level at Brooklyn, and you can see both the upper and lower levels moving along very smoothly at this time of night.
Still to come, how a private school in Castle Hills is raising money for a school in Haiti using all of these Dominoes. We're going to explain after the break.
I'm Stefania Jimenez, and here's what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat.
I don't really like asking people for nothing, but I'm like begging, please come forward.
Months of waiting with no justice for their loved one, and now the family of a murder victim wants answers. The challenges San Antonio police say that they're facing in their investigation. Also, it's a name synonymous with controversy. We're talking about Enron. It's been more than 20 years since the fraud at the Houston-based energy company first made headlines, and tonight we're hearing from the whistleblower who brought it all to light. We'll see you for these stories and a lot more tonight on The Night Beat.
Thanks, Stefania. Dominoes, determination, and donation. It is a tradition spanning almost 2 decades at St. George Episcopal School in Castle Hills. They do this every year, and every domino represents $1 donated to their sister school in Haiti.
I have actually been to this before. It's quite a sight. KSAT 12 photojournalist Tim Stewart takes us behind the scenes of this massive undertaking. It's all about middle schoolers learning patience and resilience while being compassionate and giving.
This is our 17th chain of love. 17 years of building this chain of love to help others.
Every single domino represents like $1, and we have many teams, like the fundraising team, the prep team, the construction team.
Yeah, we have a sister school in Haiti.
Every dollar does a lot for them. It really does make a difference.
All of this, I think, pays for like 6 teachers' salaries in Haiti.
I think that it builds a character of helping others and helping others as a community.
It's not just about what we receive, but what we give. And so I really think that that's the lesson we're teaching our kids.
You should be doing as much work for other people as you can instead of for yourself.
I think it also teaches everyone to learn how to just relax, rebuild. It's okay.
It can be hard to like place every single domino because it can topple over at any moment. It's kind of stressful.
This is tough. This is hard. And they learn that they can pick themselves back up and their design can fall over. In the 11th hour, you know, when the stakes are high, they have to brush it off and they keep going. That's resilience, and that's sticking to it and finishing their job.
The whole school's in here, and we haven't been able to do that since a while because of COVID.
I think everybody should help other people who don't have as much.
Amazing.
That is so cool. The time that took to set up and make sure everything was precise.
That seems like something Adam Caskey would get a kick out of.
Looks very cool. And the confetti at the end was pretty good too.
Wow.
You know, that helps.
Yeah.
But, of course, the dominoes, that was, you know, it's just so much goes into that. It's got to be so nerve-wracking when you get really far. You're almost there.
Yeah.
Don't mess up right at that critical point. All right, let's talk about what's coming down the pike. Not 100 degrees, but still hot. I mean, we'll be a good 10 degrees above average for this time of year. And then generally dry conditions with one exception, and that's a few thunderstorms that could flare up closer to the border. We're going to get to that in a moment. First, let's talk temperatures. 94 degrees right now, a dew point of 71. We have the humidity out there, so it feels like it's 101. So definitely hot and sticky. Not just hot, but also very humid. Midland at 99, Abilene 101, Guyman, Oklahoma 100, Lubbock right now at 97. You get the idea. It looks summer-like across the state of Texas right now for the most part. Carrizo Springs, Eagle Pass at 100 along with Laredo, but you get closer to the coastline where we have higher humidity. 91 Kennedy, 91 in Victoria. Locally, though, 90 in Bernie, Rio Medina 95, and Seguin at 90 degrees. And these temperatures, of course, will be falling off here in the coming hours. We'll be gradually falling our way through the 80s. And then I do think tomorrow morning we'll settle in the mid-70s. So above average for this time of year, mid-70s, and humid and sticky to start the day tomorrow. We're talking 75 in Castroville at 7 a.m., Converse 77, New Braunfels as well, and Bulverde about 73. Tomorrow afternoon, we get back into the 90s. Devine, Pleasanton, 98 degrees. Helotes, Bulverde, 93. Canyon Lake, about 94. Here in San Antonio, officially about 94, but a little bit warmer in southern Bexar County. And for the rest of the week and into the weekend, we're talking about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Generally speaking, mid-90s for high temperatures will be the rule. No cool front to move in to put a dent in these temperatures anytime soon. Here's one of the main driving forces. We've got quiet weather across the state. Big Blue H. It's down over the valley and in parts of Mexico. That's where it's centered, and this will be drifting to the northeast. It's really not a massive heat high, but it's influencing our weather, and it's going to be drifting off to the northeast. And it's going to open the door for a little disturbance to come into West Texas and parts of Mexico tomorrow afternoon and evening, and that's when we could see a few thunderstorms closer to the Rio Grande. So let's go through our futurecast here. Tomorrow morning, the typical pattern, low gray clouds early. This is 7 a.m., significant cloud cover, I think overcast at sunrise. By the noon hour, we start to see those clouds thin out and we'll have a lot of sunshine into the afternoon. This is 3 p.m. and we are expecting some thunderstorms to flare up parts of West Texas and especially into Mexico tomorrow afternoon. And there is the possibility that some of those storms could make their way to and even across the Rio Grande. So some of our border communities, don't be surprised if you get a quick hit of heavy rainfall, maybe even the off chance of a severe thunderstorm briefly tomorrow evening. That's mostly around and after sunset is what we're thinking, but there is very low chance that any of that could make it farther east to San Antonio, so don't count on that. Otherwise, this evening, warm and humid. A bit windy, a southeasterly wind at 10 to 20 and at times gusting to 25. So a bit of a breeze out there at least. Mid-80s at 10 o'clock, midnight, right around 80 degrees. And then tomorrow we start the day at 76 at 7 a.m. with the low clouds. By the afternoon, sunshine, mid-90s, about 94 in town. Southeasterly wind, 15 to 25, so you'll notice that wind periodically as well. And then 9 o'clock, there you go, even a little before 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we could see some of those storms along and just across the Rio Grande. So something to keep in mind in basically Valverde, Kinney, Maverick counties. But that's really our only chance of rain. I mean, a 10% chance Saturday. I wouldn't count on that. Otherwise, dry.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right. So are you ready for some football? The NFL hopes so, Greg.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if you're up early this morning, you got the big Monday Night Football announcement from the new Monday Night Football crew. When we come back, we'll let you know what that is. And the head coach of the Texas Longhorns speaking to the quarterback club here in San Antonio for the very first time. Coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Big announcements being made all this week when it comes to the 2022 NFL season. It started today on Good Morning America with Monday Night Football and the debut of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, now part of that iconic Monday night broadcast booth. Today, the pair of Hall of Famers announced a doubleheader for Week 2 of Monday Night Football. It will open with the Tennessee Titans against the Buffalo Bills on ESPN at 6:15. And then the second game live here on KSAT 12 will feature the Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles at 7:30. Before the big announcement, Aikman and Buck were called the biggest offseason acquisition.
Biggest acquisition, that's got a nice ring to it. We're not going to argue with that one.
It was stressful. Nobody has any sympathy for that, but it was interesting the way it all went down. And I know I speak on Troy's behalf. We could not be more excited about being at ESPN and doing Monday Night Football. I mean, I'm 53. I grew up with Monday Night Football, and my dad doing the radio 2 booths over, and to be a part of this is pretty surreal.
What Joe just said, you know, we grew up, much like most of America, growing up watching Monday Night Football. The voices of Don Meredith and Frank Gifford and Howard Cosell echoed through our living room while I was a kid, and so it's obviously a tremendous property, and to have the opportunity at this stage of my career to get to be a part of that historical booth is really exciting. Joe mentioned it. We're extremely fired up about it, and the best part of it, in addition to working at ESPN, doing the only game on town Monday night, but to continue to get to work alongside Joe, who we've worked together with for the last 20 years, it couldn't be better.
The 2022 season opener will be on Thursday, September the 8th, featuring the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, who beat Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals in L.A. last February 23-20. Now the only question is who will be their opponents. Now, the international games have already been announced. First 3 in London, with Minnesota against New Orleans, the Giants against Green Bay, Denver against Jacksonville. That's all in the London area. And then, of course, November the 13th, Seattle and Tampa Bay will play in Munich for the very first time. And then in Mexico City on Monday Night Football, November the 30th, San Francisco against Arizona. The full schedule, including the Monday Night Football opener, as well as both the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans schedules, will be unveiled Thursday night live on ESPN and the NFL Network. Look who's in San Antonio today. Longhorns head football coach Steve Sarkisian is guest of the San Antonio Quarterback Club, and they rolled out the red carpet, or in this case the burnt orange carpet, for the second-year coach at the San Antonio Country Club today after a disappointing 5-7 finish in his first season on the 40 acres. Besides determining who his starting quarterback will be this year, with Hudson Card battling out with transfer Quinn Hewers, Sarko has to also prepare for the burnt orange for the jump to the SEC while dealing with the ramifications of the new name, image, and likeness rules.
The reality is you have to adapt to it all, because if you don't adapt, then you fall behind. And when you start talking about the transfer portal, when you start talking about NIL, but yet, like in our case, still really building our culture the way you want, I think that we have to be really cognizant of those two things, but also recognize the types of kids and character that we're looking for in our locker room to build our culture. But to act as if everything's just the same, I'd be wrong in doing that.
All right, it all starts September 3rd against Louisiana Monroe. Looking for the big turnaround.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
Got it.
KSAT Explains is up next.
It's against the law, and when it happens, it can turn deadly.
Our newest episode of KSAT Explains is all focused on illegal street racing in San Antonio. A viewer sent us a question asking what's being done to stop it. From changes in state law to a local effort to crack down on people who promote street racing. Here's KSAT Explains. It happens in San Antonio time and time again.
There were dozens of cars that were blocking off the roads here.
Street racing down this road
happens all the time.
2 cars would have driven right through their home's wall and into their living room.
They don't think about the innocent people that's driving along these roads.
We first met Larry Wilson last fall. He lived around the corner from this scene on the 8,000 block of Prue Road where street racing turned deadly. A car was coming over a hill as 2 others, a BMW and a Mercedes, were racing side by side. The driver of the 3rd car, not involved in the race, was hit head-on and killed.
Could be easily one of us, coming home, from work or the store and just coming up the hill. It's not a video game, there's no reset, and oops, don't bring someone back.
Wilson has experience with these incidents as both a neighbor and a former DPS trooper. Racing can be a challenge for law enforcement to tackle. Some of it is spontaneous.
One guy revved his engine in Mercedes, and most likely the other guy probably revved his engine back, and the race is on.
These events are extremely dangerous. They're dangerous to the motoring public. They're dangerous to people who may be in the parking lot where they're gathering. and doing their donuts and burnouts and all that.
It's those kinds of events, parking lot or intersection takeovers by drivers, that so often spread on social media. They get a fast following, drawing huge crowds, adding fuel to the potential for people to get hurt.
Street racing's been around since cars have been around, let's be honest.
This is Levi Lewis, and he's really into cars.
Levi Lewis, I am president and founder of Alamo City LX Modern Mopar.
That's an auto enthusiast group he founded in 2007. He doesn't call it a car club.
It is guilt by association. When a lot of people hear car club, they get a negative connotation immediately. Oh, you're the guys who are doing that stupid stuff.
What they do is show off their cars.
There's a lot of spoiled cars here tonight, let's be honest.
Organize charity events and promote safe driving, especially of fast cars. It's a mission that's becoming more challenging. So what's driving illegal street racing? Levi thinks it's a combination of things.
Really, the attainability of cars, of fast cars, has become easier and cheaper for a younger generation. I mean, you can get into one of the lower end Chargers for $29,000, $30,000, if that. And on the used market, you can even look at it cheaper. And so you're seeing more younger people getting a hold of them and then going out and acting young.
Then you add in social media, the ability of one post to be seen by thousands.
I kind of equate that back to the I want to be Insta famous. And that drives the street takeovers and the parking lot burnouts. You see every video that's ever been put out there, and the crowds all got their phones out and they're videoing it.
State and local leaders are noticing the problem as well. New state laws passed in 2021 shift illegal street racing from a Class B misdemeanor to a Class A misdemeanor and allow law enforcement to confiscate cars involved.
We've made some significant arrests, and we've impounded a number of vehicles, and I think the folks who were involved in this, and I think they were repeat offenders, I think that they got the message.
From September 2020 to October 2021, San Antonio police responded to 213 reports of street racing. 276 citations were handed out and 116 arrests were made. Racing seemed to rev up here last fall, so SAPD stepped up enforcement. More recently, from October 2021 to April 1st of this year, San Antonio police responded to 27 reports of street racing and made 30 arrests. 27 cars were impounded. But what about those who help promote illegal street racing? The city may have its own answer. There's a proposed ordinance on the table.
This ordinance is addressing the type of street racing where large groups of people gather to watch the street racing.
Melissa Cabello-Haverda, the city council member representing District 6, is the chair of the Public Safety Committee, which passed this ordinance on to the full city council.
We're seeing kind of a newer phenomenon of people promoting these activities on social media and saying, hey, there's going to be a race here, come watch, and it's gaining more popularity, which in turn is going to increase the amount of street racing, even though that's already illegal. So now it's going to be unlawful to, if this passes with the full council, it will be unlawful to promote that behavior by attending.
Attending could get you a citation, but the idea of penalizing spectators has been met with pushback by those who question how law enforcement can distinguish people who are promoting or intentionally watching something illegal versus those who were not.
I have walked out of a Target, walking back to my car with my bags, and seen some of this happen. So what prevents me from getting in trouble, the chief assures me that there's a clear distinction. The people that are showing up with, ice chests, kind of there to have a party in a way, right? And people who are walking out with their bags and, their children.
The councilwoman says she still has questions about making that distinction and expects that to be discussed when the full city council considers this ordinance this summer. But there's a key solution that's still missing in San Antonio: a safe place to race. In the fall of 2021, SAPD teamed up with Alamo City Motorplex in Marion to encourage racing on a track in a safer, controlled environment. But then that idea came to a screeching halt when the track shut down.
We need something in the 7th largest city in America to have a safe place for our youth to go, and not so youth.
Cabello Haverda says it's worth having a conversation about whether taxpayer dollars could be used to help get a track up and running.
If we can make it a little bit easier for them to offer this service, and it could be a business. They can make money. They can sell concessions. I can't imagine that they'd have trouble getting people to come and participate, in our city.
But a solution like that takes time and often red tape. So what can be done now to curb illegal racing and potentially save lives?
That is the question that would make both of us, millionaires. I say education, the embrace and communication from the positive part of the car community, and helping educate the youth, showing them what can be done in a safe environment and what you don't have to do to prove your value or your worth, I think is a portion of the solution.
If someone egg you on and trying to get you to race, hey, know your worth and just let them move on about their business and you go the other way. These roads is unforgivable. It's not for racing. It's not.
To check out more episodes of KSAT Explained, scan the QR code that you see right here. That will take you straight to our website where you can watch any Explains episode anytime on demand. Look for a new KSAT Explains next Monday right here on the news at 6.
After the break, we're going to get a first-hand look at how a nonprofit is helping women across the Alamo City. Details coming up next.
Impact San Antonio is a local women's nonprofit that aims to help various organizations all across the city. The goal is to join together to achieve meaningful change.
Max Massey gives us an inside look at Impact San Antonio and some of the people benefiting from its work.
The pandemic has impacted students tremendously.
Abigail is the executive director at City Year San Antonio, and her aim is to help students across our city.
Educational equity needs to happen to ensure students can succeed, and City Year San Antonio helps to solve that problem.
City Year is one of the organizations that Impact San Antonio just helped out with the grant.
Anything that agencies are doing to help improve the opportunities for kids and also help them believe in themselves, that's something we're definitely going to want to support, and it really is, impactful.
The group of women joined together to provide substantial help.
It's really a great way for us to give back to the community.
Over the last 14 years, Impact San Antonio has helped raise more than $4 million, helping nonprofits target a variety of issues.
Big old goal is to have at least 500 memberships. That enables us to give a $100,000 grant in each of our 5 focus areas, and that's arts and culture, education, environment, recreation and preservation, family, and health and wellness.
When it comes to what causes to help out, Impact San Antonio is still accepting applications, and they go through a thorough vetting process. As for City Year, they are working towards helping our next generation.
When students graduate, that means that the city's stronger and better, and that we can all be working together to create a brighter future.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Not a record breaker, but still a hot one out there. 91 degrees right now and oh so muggy.
Muggy.
Yeah, not just warm, but sticky.
Yeah.
Exactly. It is muggy out there. And I wish we could translate that mugginess into some showers or thunderstorms to give us some rain. Unfortunately, we just don't have the lift to get that going. We have an unstable atmosphere. It's just capped right now, and so we can't get anything started. Officially at the airport, 94 degrees currently. By 8 o'clock, 90, 10 o'clock, 84. We'll be in the 80s this evening, and then tomorrow morning we'll start the day in the mid-70s. There is one part of our area that could actually have a bit of rain in the short term. We'll talk more about that and our temperature trend in just a bit.
If you feel so inclined, maybe raise a glass of wine made from one of the oldest grape varieties in the world. That's because today, National Moscato Day. The sweet wine, which is associated with Italy, made from Muscat grapes, which have been cultivated for centuries.
There are now more than 200 known varieties of Muscat grapes worldwide, although true Moscato should technically be from Italy. Big wine brands in California and Australia, they've got their own versions. In fact, America's Gallo family vineyards established National Moscato Day, Adam, back in 2012.
Of course they did.
Of course they did.
Because they want to sell Moscato wine on this day.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's business.
Yep, that's what these days are all about.
Proving his
Promotion.
point.
Yes.
Yes. And heat.
And heat. When are we going to have National Ice Bath Day, right?
Yeah.
We could use that and feel good. Let's take a look at our high temperatures over the weekend. It's important to rewind a little bit here because we did have a record high of 101 on Saturday. That beat the record by 1 degree. Sunday, 101 again. That was 1 degree shy of the record. But these 2 consecutive 100-degree days were the earliest on record here in San Antonio that we've had 2 consecutive 100-degree days in a row. The previous record was May 11th and 12th back in 1967. So pretty significant over the weekend. We're not talking 100 here, but today, 97 the high, which tied the record. The rest of this week and into the weekend, we're talking mid-90s for high temperatures, and that's about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. We've got that hazy sky, a few clouds out there with the very flat tops and bottoms. That's because of the inversion or the cap that we have on the atmosphere. The air rises, makes it to a certain point, generates a cloud, but then it sinks and it can't rise any farther. So we can't generate any storms. Despite a dew point of 71, temperature of 94, feels like it's 101 and a southeasterly wind at 18 miles per hour. A bit windy at times. That's going to be the trend all the way through Thursday. You look at the readings now, Eagle Pass still 100 along with Laredo. 97 Hondo, Kerrville, you're 92 degrees, Seguin at 90, New Braunfels 92 and 97 in Hondo. Dew points are up. It's not just warm, but it is sticky out there. We have that oppressive humidity. Typically 70 and up is what's considered the oppressive levels of humidity in terms of the dew point temperature. And that's where we are, low to mid 70s for those dew points right now. So we're feeling that stickiness and that muggy feel to the air. Actually a good portion of the spring, we had dry air in place. And we had a lot of cold fronts, weak cold fronts move through, but they gave us the dry air. Well, things have turned around and become a little more normal for this time of year, especially as we get into May now. And so we have this high humidity in place. I know it takes humidity to make rain, but unfortunately it doesn't look like we have too many opportunities to make those showers. We don't have all the other ingredients in place. During the afternoons, we often see the dew points drop off a little bit, and I do think that's going to be the case Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. During the afternoons, we'll notice a little drop in that mugginess, but high temperatures will still be well into the 90s. So let's talk rain chances. We had a few storms flare up to the west of us in Mexico earlier today. They fizzled out. Right now, the activity all across the northern tier of the country and parts of the Pacific Northwest and even Northern California. That's where we have this dip, the trough, the dip in the upper level flow, that trough stirring things up and out ahead of it. Some showers, thunderstorms through the Dakotas. But here it's a different situation. We've got the upper level high, the blue H, just to the south of us, but close enough to be influencing our weather. But it's going to move off to the northeast. And we will have a disturbance moving through Mexico and West Texas tomorrow, so that could kickstart some showers. Parts of our area could actually tap into some of that moisture. So let's talk about it. Tomorrow morning, just a gray start to the day at 7 a.m. By the noon hour, the clouds should thin out a little bit, and into the afternoon, we're talking 3, 4 o'clock. Some storms developing in Mexico, maybe even West Texas as well. And then some of our border communities closer to the Rio Grande and even Valverde, Kinney, Maverick counties, you could get some of those leftover thunderstorms in the off chance of a severe thunderstorm tomorrow evening. So that's for far west of San Antonio. Around here, 76 in the morning at 7 a.m. By noon, 86 degrees. For the afternoon, we're talking 94, the high temperature, but as usual, a little bit warmer farther southwest of town where we typically are hotter. And then the rest of the week, really no good rain chances. I mean, we have a 10% chance on Saturday, but by and large, we're looking dry.
And toasty. Thanks, Adam.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
New at noon, the San Antonio Police Department just releasing this surveillance video in connection with a murder investigation. Take a look at the screen. Police want to find this white 4-door car as well as the people who are standing near that vehicle.
It's all part of the effort to figure out who killed Quentin Smith. The SAPD says someone shot him in the parking lot at the Blow Hookah Lounge on West Avenue back on January 9th.
At a time for last call at this bar north of downtown, San Antonio police and paramedics are answering a call about a shooting. Police say they found a 22-year-old man outside the Heat bar with a gunshot wound in his leg around 1:30 this morning.
We have some new details this noon in a stabbing investigation on the northwest side. Police say the victim, a suspect, got into a fight before the violent encounter. According to the officers, the victim called them and then told them someone had stabbed him in the abdomen.
Northside ISD responding to claims its staff felt pressure to vote in Saturday's bond election. They're calling it a miscommunication. In a statement, the district spokesperson saying in part, quote, the messaging provided to district staff was solely intended to encourage the goal of increasing staff participation in the voting process. The messaging never intended to be coercive, and immediate measures were taken to clarify and correct any messaging that may have been misrepresented, misinterpreted, or miscommunicated.
The price of a gallon of gas in San Antonio jumped 21 cents in just the past week. Those nickels and dimes add up. In fact, compared to last year, if you have an average size tank, it's costing you $20 more every time you fill up.
All right, tomorrow we're looking at high temperatures well into the 90s again. You get to the typically warmer spots: Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, Laredo, 101. Kerrville, 93. Canyon Lake, about 94. Timberwood Park, 93. Elmendorf, 96. Von Army, 97 tomorrow. So we're looking very similar, really, the rest of the week through the weekend. Not a good chance of rain, just a 20% chance closer to the Rio Grande tomorrow evening.
All right, thanks, Adam. And thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you back here on the Night Beat at 10.